What's up, guys? Today's episode is going to be on Summon Unliving. So the skill is pretty widely known to be overpowered right now. It's not anything unique, but we still got to include it in our series, otherwise it'll never really be complete. They have already nerfed the skill twice in the first month of early access. They reduced the stats of the summons by 1/3, and they also made it so you can no longer summon them at all in the yellow mental challenges. And I would not be surprised if they continue to nerf this a couple more times down the road. It's just that powerful. The strength of your summons depends on two things. The first is the tier of your skill, and that depends on how many full essence bars are filled. So some other skills, like Ice Spike for example, their damage multipliers do go up when you fill the essence bar part ways, but that's not the case for summons. For summons, you can think of it as like every time you cross the line, your summon has evolved into a different type of unit. So it's really important to get a maxed out essence bar for the most powerful summons. So within the type of unit that you're summoning, they will scale with specifically intelligence for Summon Unliving. That means high intelligence characters like Zerkas are really strong summoners, and even other characters like hunters or scoundrels or gatherers can be built into decent summoners if you build them with intelligence. The best way to max out the Summon Unliving skill is with full mythical leather on a 2-star codex recipe. Now, depending on when you watch this video, you may find that the current patch allows you to max it out with just fur leather. That is a glitch though. As you can see, the full essence bar requires 45 essence. Two-handed weapons are supposed to require more essence because a lot more material is put into them. Let's just look at the swords and greatswords, for example. So if I just pull up a recipe for swords, here, you see that a maxed out sword is 45 essence. A maxed out greatsword, on the other hand, as you can see, it takes 72 essence. So if we go back to our codex recipe, we know that this will be fixed. It will require 72 essence to max out Summon Unliving. And as you can see, full mythical leather gives you 72.2 essence. This codex is paired with the Ice Spike skill, which is extremely useful for your high intelligence units anyway, because they do really nice damage in the mental challenges and in the physical challenges as well. But in the physical challenges, it's more important that you summon these skeletons. The Summon Unliving can also be put out in the purple spiritual challenges, however they're not going to be nearly as strong. That said, weak skeletons are still extremely useful just because of the mechanics of tanking with summons. You don't get wounded characters if your summons take all the hits. Because of that, I usually like sticking some low-level scrolls on all the children characters so they have something to do. They can put out some meat shields even though their stats are really low. You can also get Summon Unliving on scrolls, which is usually a lighter one-handed weapon, so that gives you the added benefit of being able to put on a shield as well if you choose to go that route. But you can't max it with just mythical leather. You actually have to research up until combat leather in order to max out the skill. It can be paired with the random blast skill, which is a really nice AoE spell, but it scales with mysticism, so the same character will probably not be able to make good use of both spells. Or if you put something like a Grand Gem in here, then you can have the lullaby skill, which is pretty useful for anybody. Let's take a look at our Zerka team here. They're pretty high level Zerkas. Their intelligence is quite high, so to counterbalance that, I removed all their other equipment and made them the only 2 party members. We're going to find that it's going to be relatively easy to handle most of the fights in the game with just 2 Zerkas summoning their skeletons. They can use Ice Spike as well, but I'm pretty sure that we're not even going to need to use Ice Spikes. So let's get this battle started. So Nelf does join me in this battle, but we're not even going to use her. We want to show off the skeletons. You don't have to put the skeletons out early because they're going to attack first anyway. They come out with 0 delay, as all summons do. Hopefully something that gets changed. I think that's a little bit too powerful. So we can wait until the end when we see where the enemy plays every single card, and we're going to put our skeletons right in front of them. It doesn't matter where I put them if I'm only using skeletons, but if I was tanking for the back row, then yes, it would matter where I'm putting them. We're just going to have our skeletons go off against the entire enemy team, just to show off how good they are. They're very tanky, they have good HP, good shields, and they do really good damage as well. If I wanted to do this battle a lot faster, obviously I would be putting some AoE spells in the back row, maybe some pikemen or hunters, or I could also just be playing the Zerkas out with Ice Spike, because as you saw, I only used 2 action points. I had 5 action points remaining. It just doesn't really matter when your skeletons are able to take every single hit that they throw at you. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to wait until the very end, see where they place their cards. Now, if I was using weaker skeletons that could not take all of the hits, then I would want to make sure that I'm doing enough damage to kill them off before I take a big beating in the second combat round. Yeah, so this guy didn't even get to do any damage because the skeletons killed him first. So this battle should be over pretty soon. I think I'm going to edit out the rest of it. So here's the last guy. Now this isn't the toughest battle in the game by far, but similar strategies will work for a lot more difficult battles as well. Hope that was entertaining and informative. We are still pretty early on in the early access, so a lot of balance changes might come along, and I expect that they will. But anyway, if you like this video, please click like, subscribe, leave some comments, and I'll see you guys for the next one.